Imagine waking up in a room where the walls are closing in, every breath weighed down by chains you can't see but feel crushing your chest. That was me, trapped in addiction, drowning in a storm of self-doubt and fear. But here's the twist. The path out wasn't a straight line, and the key wasn't just willpower. It was connection, creativity, and radical honesty. I remember the nights when the craving hit like a tidal wave, relentless and roaring. The world outside felt distant, colors muted, as if life was happening to someone else. My first obstacle wasn't just the substance. It was the silence I'd built around my pain. I was alone, but more than that, I was unreachable, locked behind walls forged from shame and guilt. Breaking through started with a simple, almost ridiculous act, writing a letter to my addiction. I didn't hold back. I named the lies it told me, the promises it broke, and the dreams it stole. Putting those words on paper was like opening a window in a dark room. It didn't fix everything overnight, but it cracked the silence just enough for hope to slip in. Next, I sought out others who had walked this twisted path, not in sterile clinics or guarded meetings, but in the raw, unfiltered spaces where stories were shared without judgment. I learned that healing isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, scarred and trembling, and saying, "I'm here, I'm trying." One powerful strategy I found was transforming my pain into purpose. Instead of hiding my scars, I began to share my story through art, paintings splattered with the chaos of addiction, poems carved from the ashes of recovery. This wasn't just therapy, it was a beacon for others lost in their darkness. I also developed a daily ritual that grounded me. Each morning, I'd step outside and list 3 small victories from the day before. Maybe it was resisting a harmful impulse, reaching out to a friend, or simply breathing through anxiety. These victories were like tiny seeds planted in rocky soil. Slowly, they grew into resilience. Helping others became my compass. I started a small group where people could bring their struggles without fear, where we celebrated progress, no matter how small. Watching someone else take their first shaky steps toward healing was a reminder that recovery is contagious. Hope spreads when we share it. But the journey wasn't without setbacks. There were days when the old voice screamed louder, when the shadows threatened to swallow me whole. What kept me going was learning to sit with discomfort rather than running from it. I practiced mindfulness, not to escape pain, but to understand it, to let it teach me strength. If you're watching this and feeling trapped, here's what I want you to take away. Start small. Name your struggle, find your tribe, and create a ritual that honors your progress. Don't wait for perfect moments. Healing lives in the messy, imperfect steps you take every day. Remember, your story isn't defined by your darkest moments, but by the courage you show in facing them. Your path to healing is uniquely yours, but you don't have to walk it alone. Reach out, speak your truth, and let your light, no matter how faint, guide you forward. I want to dive deeper into what connection really means in this context. Connection isn't just about being around people, it's about being truly seen and heard, even when your story is raw and messy. It's about finding those rare spaces where vulnerability isn't a weakness, but a bridge that links hearts. When I found my tribe, I found mirrors reflecting my struggles and my strengths. These bonds became lifelines, threads woven from shared pain and hope, pulling me back from the edge. Creativity became more than an outlet. It turned into a language of healing. When words failed or felt too heavy, creating art gave voice to what I couldn't say. There were days when I painted with furious strokes, releasing anger and frustration, and others when I crafted delicate poems, whispering my fears and dreams. This creative expression was a dialogue with myself, a way to process the chaos inside and transform it into something tangible, something beautiful. Radical honesty was perhaps the hardest lesson. It meant facing the truth without disguise, admitting my failures and fears out loud, even when it felt unbearable. Radical honesty demanded courage to dismantle the masks I wore and the stories I told myself to avoid shame. But with each honest confession, the burden lightened. I learned that truth has a strange power to heal. It breaks chains and builds bridges. I want to share more about the daily ritual that became my anchor. Every morning, I'd take a moment of stillness before the chaos of the day began. Writing down 3 small victories wasn't about grand achievements. It was about acknowledging the tiny battles won quietly. Sometimes the victories were as simple as choosing not to numb the pain with old habits or reaching out to someone despite the fear of rejection. These moments of recognition rewired my brain to focus on progress instead of failure, nurturing a resilience I didn't know I had. Creating a community space was another turning point. I gathered a handful of people, each carrying their own scars and stories. Together, we built a sanctuary where judgment had no place. We celebrated every step forward, no matter how small or shaky. This group wasn't about fixing each other. It was about witnessing each other's journeys and providing unwavering support. Watching others grow reminded me that healing is a shared experience, a ripple effect that extends far beyond individual struggles. Setbacks were inevitable. There were mornings when the weight of old voices echoed louder than hope. When the shadows felt like they would engulf me, I learned to sit with that discomfort instead of fleeing. Mindfulness became a practice of patience and presence, acknowledging pain without letting it define me. Through mindfulness, I discovered that discomfort is not the enemy, but a teacher, guiding me toward deeper understanding and inner strength. If you're feeling trapped, know that the first step is often the hardest, but also the most important. Start by naming your struggle. It takes power to bring it into the light. Then, seek connection. Find those who can hold your truth without judgment. Build rituals that honor your daily victories, no matter how small. Healing doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence and kindness toward yourself. Your story is not a chain that binds you, but a tapestry that tells of your resilience. Every scar, every tear, every triumph is a thread in that tapestry. Your path to healing is unique, shaped by your experiences and your choices. But you don't have to walk it alone. Reach out, speak your truth, and let your light guide you forward, even if it flickers. Remember, the journey out of addiction and pain is not a sprint, but a marathon. There will be moments of doubt and despair, but also moments of breakthrough and joy. Embrace the messy, imperfect process. Celebrate the small wins and learn from the setbacks. Build connections that uplift you, express your truth creatively, and practice honesty with yourself and others. Healing is not a destination, but a continuous process of growth and renewal. It's about waking up each day and choosing to face your challenges with courage. It's about finding beauty in your scars and strength in your vulnerabilities. It's about lighting a candle in the darkness, not just for yourself, but for those who will follow your path. So if this resonates with you, take a moment to breathe deeply. Know that you are not alone in your struggle. There is a community waiting to embrace you, a creative outlet ready to receive your story, and a truth within you yearning to be spoken. Start where you are, with what you have, and keep moving forward. Your light matters, and your journey is worth every step.